Hey, Oscar. I don't know if you can hear me, but I have some new plants. And obviously, I know you know, please watch all the pots and landscape. I'm not sure what the weather is next week. But there's new plantings that will need extra observations, if you will. I'm going to start towards the house. There's just two new potted plants. I have a English daisy, I think that's what it was, and a calla lily right here on the patio. If you could keep an eye on those. Then this little guy over on the baker's rack is relatively new, as is the basil, which hopefully I'll find somewhere somehow to replant it in a bigger pot before I leave. I'm not sure though. I have one. Okay, and then again, just keep an eye on different, the different potted plants that are well established. This guy's relatively new, right off the patio here when you make your first step or two. And then again, all of these are established and whatnot. Here's one here. This is a tomato plant that is relatively new, I have some ground cover here. This is was in a pot, but new to the ground. If you can see all the ground cover I'm trying to get to grow and spread. Again, another azalea that is relatively new. If I come back here, if you look at this somewhat pathway, all of these are new ground covers, and these are bulbs that I planted again this year. So if you can just keep an eye on them, bulbs are usually, I think, pretty established and not a big deal. If they die, they'll come back next year. Out on the driveway is what really probably needs to be kept an eye on. These are all tomato plants and some bulbs. So if you can keep an eye on them, this is, I thought, would get the most sun for the tomato plants. Also, don't let the dogs in them. They're just beasts and they suck. And then down the driveway, I have these two blue doohickey plants there, and then I have a few out in the front. If we can go out there, here we go. Let's see, out here, if you want to, right here, this is a new one, right by the water collection closest to the driveway. Also, there's two pinks down here, and the red plant are all new. I don't know how much water they'll need, but there's no rain going into the ditch right now, so I just want to keep them established. And there's some more here. There's the second little white plant and the third. And again, these are all along the driveway. If you want to check that out. And then there's just a couple more in the other biodrain, whatever it's called. If you look, that the green and that green one, those are new this weekend. And then I got just a couple little guys out there in the middle of nowhere. If you could, just keep an eye on them. The front yard's usually pretty good. I'll get it watered before I leave pretty well. And I have just been watering these few plants with a water can, which is by the backyard. And but if you want a hose for the front, which I don't know, if you need it, it's through the back gate, and you can just turn it on, and it comes under the patio So we have a hose on this side. And I just used this hose. So, anyways, thank you, Oscar. You always do an awesome job. The pups love you. We love you. You know, yeah. Feel free to make yourself at home. You know that. And thank you for all that you do. Bye.